Leicester 3, Man United 1, dumped out of the FA Cup, Rick. He made changes today, quite a few changes today, changed the shape as well. And it was just an awful performance. I see it as we got what we deserved. It could have been worse. But how did you see it?
Definitely could have been worse, and we definitely got what we deserved. I said before the game, and I've said it to you before, you can't afford to change your back four. I know he wants to give players games. He does want to get through. I know some of them are going away on an international break, probably most of them. Luke Shaw has got to play, and people might say, what different? It makes a massive, massive difference. He's got to pick his best back four. Can't afford to mess about with it. We couldn't afford to mess about with it against Sheffield United, Flex. And then he messes about with it against Leicester. It's just astonishing. I promise you faithfully, he underestimated Leicester. Does he not watch the football on the telly like I watch it? They're a top team, and he thinks he can mess about like that against them. Drove me mad, mate. Drove me absolutely round the bend.
And you say he underestimated them, but then you think, okay, it's going wrong because what you've put out there isn't having the effect. They're playing the five at the back with the wing backs. They're pinning us in. They're pressing us. It's going wrong. Can you put your eye on it from early doors? What's wrong and change the shape, change the personnel? Nothing. Yes, he brought on 4 players at once, but Fred still stayed on the pitch, which was he was awful. Absolutely awful. At fault for the goal, along with Maguire. Don't know where Maguire even expects him to go with that pass, but also an awful pass. Him and Lindelof, Matic gets turns like a lorry with the 1-2 with Tielemans. Then Fred comes across and doesn't do enough, and Victor Lindelof can't get across there. McTominay gives away a stupid free kick near the corner flag about. Then doesn't know where Iheanacho is for the goal. Calamitous. But back to Ollie. To leave Fred on for that long or not get your best players. Donny comes off the pitch, which you all just knew was going to happen. It just didn't make sense, the changes or lack of.
It's the changes that he made. And then, I know I've just banged on about what he should have started with, but he just needs to do a little tweak. He don't need to make all them subs. Donny van de Beek was playing okay, perfectly fine. You've got to find out which... You've got to realise which ones are letting you down the most, and Fed's letting you down the most. And I'm sorry, but not that Telles is playing horrendously, but it's like, I don't know, it's like comparing him to Maldini. Do you know what I mean? You just got to get, when you've got such a top player there, Luke Shaw, you've got to get him on the field. You've got to replace Fred and take it from there. There's no need for such dramatic changes. The dramatic changes 4 at once. It just made a bit of a hodgepodge of it, a bit of a mess. I'm sorry to have a go at Mason. He's 19, the kid, but Mason as well. He's not cutting it, Flex. He really.
Rick, I don't know, but in this game, he gets us back in the game. Rick,
I just had a message from someone who's always defending him to me, and he said, "You know what? I give up. You're dead right. He's not."
Yeah, but he got us back in the game today, Rick. He got us back in the game.
Oh, Flex, don't say that to me. Scoring.
But he did.
I know he scored the goal, Flex, but that's. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So what more could he have done with that shit show service and the midfield doing fuck all? What more could he have done? What could he have done?
He's got to play better. Flex, he's got to play better.
He didn't even get the ball.
He's got to pass the ball instead of losing it all the time. That's what he's got to do, I'm telling you, Flex.
I didn't even think he got the ball. He didn't even get the ball today.
He's losing it too often when it comes to him. It's coming to him when his back's a goal and he's miscontrolling it and they're going up the field with the ball. He's not doing well enough, Flex. One of the situations when he did it was when Vardy ran through and shot just wide of the post. It just comes to him. He just miscontrols it. They just take it off him and they run away with it and they nearly score for it. I know they nearly scored from other reasons, Flex. I know they nearly scored from other mistakes. But when you're playing up front, you've got to be able to get hold of the ball. He's not getting hold of the ball.
Well, when Cavani came on, he didn't get hold of the ball. Martial was up front in a 2 with a diamond, and both didn't get the ball. Both didn't hold it particularly well. Matic, who we always want to play.
I keep saying this to you. One day, after this pandemic, we'll sit and watch a game. We can pick any game you want. I'll show you this game again, and I'll show you 10 times. Got to do
Matic plays today.
Matic
played today, and the reason they score is because he fucking can't turn and gets that. And Tielemans ain't even running fast. That happened in midfield. It happened. The midfield's shit. It's poor. Lindelof and Maguire at the back. What are they? Especially Maguire gives the ball to Fred. I'm looking at the moments that actually changed the game. Right? Don't get me wrong, Mason. I'm saying we got to play better. But
We've got to get hold of the ball better.
Out of all of that, it was crap.
We've got to pass it better. We've got to get hold of it better. We've got to play better. And there's 2 or 3 or 4 players who are letting it down more often than others. Although you can pick on certain moments, like you picked on a good moment, like Greenwood scored the goal. Obviously, that's a good moment. Matic did get turned and they ran and they ended up scoring. There are moments in the games that are important. But when you're trying to get a team to play well, those moments will be less often when your team plays well.
I understand that, but in the context of this game, in the context of this game, these are the moments that changed the course of this game. Our midfield being poor, Mason scoring.
That's only because we're not looking after the ball well enough. We're not playing well enough. We ain't
got a midfield that can do it as well.
Then moments come along because of that. We've got to play better. We've got to play better.
But what I'm saying is, even if Cavani would have been on there today and started that game, he wouldn't even have seen the ball to play better. Like Martial they didn't see the ball. That's what I'm saying. They didn't see the ball.
You're misunderstanding the term better flex. Obviously, they're not getting the ball in the box. They're not getting chances. They're not running the channels fantastic. All I'm talking about by playing better, because it's not like the game goes past them and they don't get the ball at all, whatever position in the field that they're on. Right? So they need to play better when they get the ball. Mason's not playing well enough too often when he gets the ball. Fred's not playing well enough too often. Now, all of them, you could level some of it at. All of them. Even Matic, even Van der Beek lost it a couple of times, but only a couple of times. You've got to cut out the players that are losing it 6, 7, 8, 9 times. That's what you've got to change.
So going forward then, with this manager, with Ollie, this is another FA Cup bottled, you could say. We knew our fate at half-time at 1-1. Maybe the players didn't know. Southampton in the semis, a real good chance to stop City winning the quadruple. And, the players put in a shit performance. How much, you speak about some of the individuals there, but let's talk about Ollie. Let's talk about, like you said, he underestimated Leicester. And what, can he get out of this rut? Can he get out of when it really matters? We can't find the result. We can't find the performance.
I've got no faith in him, mate. I've got no faith in him. What he's done today is a disgrace. I mean, some people will probably say it's the FA Cup, and some people might say you've got to give players a rest and you've got to change things. He wants to win a trophy. He's desperate to win a trophy. He wanted to get through that. He picked a team that he thought could beat Leicester City.
Of course.
The team that we put out, they look like Brazil compared to us. We opened up quite brightly for 10 minutes, but it just all fell apart. It just all fell apart badly.
It did. And but the thing that worries me even more than making the bad decisions to even start with, because I did say, not too bad a team. We'll see how we go. You know what you do before the game, because you don't know how it's going to go. You might get a gut feeling. I'm never really one to say this will be a shit performance because it's what he picked, or this will be great. I just kind of go with it. But what worries me more is the inability to impact the game in any way. You're seeing Brendan Rodgers' side well drilled. They get to a point where they take their chances. What does he do? Takes Vardy off, shores it up, brings in Chowdhury. There's a method. And I'm not even going to say a method to their madness, because it's not madness what they're doing. But there's a method, a clear method of what they're doing. And we don't have that. That worries me.
The main ingredient, I looked at their lineup. I don't know. I don't know if you mix the odd little tweak here and there, but every single player, when I looked at the Leicester team, I thought to myself, he's a good player, he's a good player, he's a good player. Do you know what I mean?
And that's the players out that they've got.
Yeah. They've just got good players. They haven't. They're better organised. They pass it around better. They look after it better, Flex. All of their players look after the ball better than Mason Greenwood does. I'm sorry to mention Mason.
I think you're picking on him today. I really think you're picking on today. He wasn't any worse than Martial, Rick. Come on, he wasn't. He wasn't.
He was.
Today, he wasn't.
Well, I'll watch it again tomorrow. As soon as I've watched it, I'll ring you.
I know you will. But I don't know. I think you're going in on Mason today. And I think that in a game where Mason could hardly touch the ball. Yes, like you say, you're going to give the ball away sometimes. But he also got past his defender, whips and crosses in. He also scored.
I was on a show before the game, Flex, and a lad sent a message in, and the message said, my lad plays at centre forward. He's a kid. Have you got any tips for him? I said, I'll tell you what to do. This is what I said on the show before the game today. I said, I'll tell you what you've got to tell your lad to do.
Watch Martial, did you say?
Too many strikers do not take a touch of the ball. Right? They try and play first-time passes. Top players, tell your lad what he's got to do is get hold of the ball. That's the most important ingredient. Even simple passes, when it comes up to you, you want to pass it to your right, you want to pass it to your left. Very occasionally, it's correct to pass it first time. Most of the time, you've got to take a touch. I'm not saying hog the ball. You've got to take a touch and you've got to pass it. Too many times, I said, look, who I was watching the game with, I said, Mason's just done exactly there what I've just told the fella to tell his young boy. You know, he's just played the ball off first time when he should have took a touch. It's gone straight to their player. He's got to take a touch, Flex, and pass it. And I've just explained.
I see all of our players do that. See McTominay do that all the time.
Martial takes a touch, Flex, most of the time. Most of the time. I don't know why you can't see what I'm saying to you. I don't understand it.
What I don't see is why out of all today that was wrong, you're going in on him like he was the biggest problem. When if it weren't for him, we wouldn't even got back in the game. That's what I don't get. I don't see how Mason today, in the context of today's performance, was the biggest thing to fix. I don't understand that.
It's got to play better. You've got to put a better team out there. And the three main problems were. I feel a little bit sorry for Tellez. He wasn't as bad, Tellez, but we've just got a player who's far superior.
I agree with that, in short. I agree with that.
When you're playing Leicester City, you've got to put the best possible team out there that you can put out there. And there's 2 or 3 players who shouldn't have been playing.
Why I'm confused is I'm saying why is your energy not? Why are you not coming on there and saying McTominay came on the pitch, right? Gave away a shit free kick, his fault. Then he don't know where his man is. Game done. Why are we not saying Matic in midfield? I tell you what, you got turned like a sixpence because you can't turn, and then he's through and goal, and we score. Fred, you're shit. What a shit pass! Why?
It's not being lit. With that shit, Flex, you've got to start somewhere. You've got to pick. I'm not saying that you've got to pick. You've got to. There's no point criticising the least bad ones. I'm not saying anybody played like Johan Cruyff. But Fred was miles worse than Matic, and then Fred stays on and Matic goes off. And
but for me, that's the headline. That's where I think. But the way he was going on Mason, I'm like, hold on a minute. Mason was by far the least of our by far the most of our problems today. In my opinion, I didn't look at that game today and say, fucking hell, the reason why we struggled there was because Mason was shit. I looked at that and thought, our midfield's crap, our defenders are playing stupid balls, and Maguire is getting done by flipping Vardy and playing stupid balls into midfield. McTominay comes on in a 4-man substitution when he's taken off Van der Beek when he shouldn't have, and gives away a free kick and then loses his man and then kills the game and it's 3-1. And Mason is the one who got us back into the game. I wasn't even thinking anything about Mason. I'm doing it in process of like, hang on a minute. These 4 things are the shittest things that happened today. Could Mason look after the ball a little bit better today? And in general, yeah, okay, he's learning his position. I do agree with that. I'm not blind to that. But I just think there's so much more wrong with today's performance and United in general than Mason Greenwood not looking after the ball enough, in my opinion. That's just how I see it. I think we've got far bigger problems than that. Like if Mason Greenwood, what I'm saying is if Mason Greenwood, okay, looked after the ball a little bit better today and didn't give it away them couple of times that in transition, then what? Would we have won the game today? I don't think so. Would it have helped our performance? No, because our midfield would have been shit. Harry Maguire would have been doing breeze at the back, passing it into midfield when someone's got a man up his ass. Ollie would have made shit substitutions. So whether Mason controls the ball a bit better 2 or 3 times, I think has no effect on the game. It has effect in those passages of play, but in terms of Man United being crap, it doesn't. That's how I see it.
You need to tweak it. All you need to do is tweak it. Hopefully, one of those situations leads to you scoring a goal. Hopefully, one of those situations leads to them not scoring a goal. Tiny little tweaks, Flex, can make massive, massive differences. Tiny little tweaks.
Well, he made too many tweaks today. We can definitely agree on that. And it backfired. And you know what? Though? This is what it does, isn't it? It brings out brings out the passion and the frustration, because we're both just so frustrated. We're both just so frustrated at it. I mean, I was looking at it and I'm like, look at us. Like, look at us. You look at Brendan Rodgers and what he's doing with them, and I think, look at us. We're a mess. That's really where the frustration is coming from.
Absolute mess. It doesn't. He just doesn't seem to look. I just don't get it, mate. I'm exasperated. He doesn't seem to grasp it whatsoever. The enormity of taking on Leicester in a cup quarter final, a cup that not only we want to win, but he obviously is aware that the fans are like this, and they must want to try and stop City getting the quadruple. Do you know what I mean? It's massive game to the fans that today. And the way the draw's gone, at half-time we're drawing. The way the draw's gone at half-time, you're putting yourselves in a position there. You've got Southampton in the semi. You're putting yourselves in. I looked at Chelsea today. They've 14 games under the new manager, unbeaten. They've let 2 goals in 14 games. Touch wood, they can give City a right game. Touch wood, they can give. So we could have been putting ourselves in a position where for City to get the quadruple, they've got to beat Chelsea, then they've got to beat us. And we're going to play like that. To be fair, on that side of the coin, I've got more faith. Well, I was about to say I've got more faith in Leicester going and giving City a game in the final, if it is Leicester in the final against City. But at the same time, when we play City, he tends to do it right. Are they the only team in the league that he rates? Is he already thinking we're brilliant? We're absolutely brilliant. Us, only City are better than us. Is that what he thinks? Because if he does, he's miles out.
I agree with all what you said there, Rick. I think that's what this comes down to. I think it's about being able to look at the reality of where we are at. Don't get me wrong, we're fuming because of the result, and it's straight after, and we're pissed off. But when you look at the whole entirety of it, when you need to get over the line in these critical moments, we keep falling. And this is one step earlier than last year, you know? And look, there's going to be a lot of fans watching this who are saying, don't moan, we're rebuilding. We got past AC Milan. You can't have it all. We had to make, I get it. But I think we're entitled as Man United fans to look at that and say that was shit. And also look at the lack of changes and how Ollie managed the game and say it wasn't good enough. But I don't know. It's all about opinion. We got international break, come back, Brighton. Got to go for the Europa League now.
I watched Brighton yesterday. I thought
against Newcastle.
I thought Danny Welbeck looked fantastic. I'd have him in our team. Looks after the ball, Danny, and passes it.
Bring back Danny Welbeck. We'll be a better team.
I will pick him. Flex, I'm 100% deadly serious. If I had the option to choose him, I would choose him.
You wouldn't get more than 2 games out of him, mate.
I'm talking about what I've seen of how he plays. He might not be fit. I don't know what his fitness situation is, but he's a quality player still.
We go into the international break. Rest up, Rick. Rest up. Don't watch any football. We'll chill out for a bit. Don't watch no internationals. Hopefully, Luke Shaw comes back in one piece. Yeah. We'll see where we go. Nice one, Rick.